In this video, I'm going to be showing how to install a Yankee Hill diamond free float assembly. Now in this case, it's going to be a carbine length, and I'm going to install it onto a pistol. It's going to be a 9mm pistol, so there's no need for a gas block or gas tube. To start off with, here are some of the tools you're going to need. You're going to need AR-15 action block, the block insert, a flathead screwdriver, and a forearm wrench / barrel nut wrench. In this case, I chose a Yankee Hill version. Now for the parts of the actual installation. Obviously, I've got the Yankee Hill carbine diamond handguard. That comes with the jam nut, barrel nut, and anti-rotation screws. That's going to be installed on the upper receiver you see here, and it's with a 7-inch 9mm barrel. Flash hider has already been installed. In this case, it's not actually going to get in our way. Alright, first off, you're going to install the barrel into the receiver. I like to put a little bit of lube around the barrel. Just makes it a little bit easier to get in, a little bit easier to get out if you ever need to remove it later down the road. Now with the Yankee Hill barrel nut, you'll see that one side has more threads than the other. You want to go ahead and install the lock nut on the side with the extra threads, and that's going to go towards your receiver. With the lock nut threaded on, go ahead and tighten it up against the receiver hand tight. Next, take your barrel wrench. Go ahead and slide it down the barrel. You're going to want to tighten up against the barrel nut. Now, I've heard both ways. Some people say that you need to tighten it and then back it off, tighten again, back it off, tighten again. I had a Colt representative tell me that that's not necessary, so I don't always do it. Depends on the lining of the gas tube. Now, in this particular build, we don't need a gas tube, but I'm still going to go ahead and check and make sure the hole's lined up, because that's going to help with the anti-rotation screws later down the road. If you're installing it on a regular 223 or similar upper with a gas tube, you're going to need to make sure it's lined up. Now you want to go ahead and install your handguard. Just going to slide it down the barrel and screw it onto the barrel nuts. You may want to add just a little bit of lube, make everything slide on nice and smooth, and again, protect it from seizing on there if you ever decide you do want to remove it. Now, as you finish screwing it down, you'll notice that the diamond handguard actually has a little bit of an extension to help it line up with the receiver. Now, if you'll notice, you'll get to a point where you can't turn it any further because that extension will bottom out against your action block. So you want to back it off until it lines up with your upper receiver. Now you're going to take your action screws. I like to go ahead and put them in before the handguard's tightened down. This helps line everything up, gets it locked into place. You can also use something to line up the top rail, such as a carry handle or a tool designed specifically for it. But I find typically that the anti-rotation screws will actually work on their own to help keep the handguard lined up along the top while you're tightening down the lock nut. At this point, I'm not going to tighten them all the way, but I am going to tighten them enough that it reduces the movement of the handguard. You can see as I tighten them up, that movement will be disappearing. Next, you're going to go ahead and cinch down the lock nut. You don't have to use a lot of pressure to cinch down the lock nut, but you want to make sure that it keeps the forearm locked. Once the lock nut is cinched down tight, go ahead and tighten up your anti-rotation screws. You'll want to use a hollow ground screwdriver to help make sure that you don't mar up the screws. That's it as far as the handguard installation. In this case, we don't have to worry about a gas block or gas tube. The handguard's ready to use now. If you want to install a front sight, you might as well install it now while you have the upper in a vise. I'm going to go ahead and put a Magpul backup sight on the front here. It just slides on, and line it up with one of the rail slots and install the screw. Now the handguard's completely installed and this 9mm pistol is ready to shoot. The upper just needs to be reattached to the lower and it's ready to go to the range. You may want to add rail protectors to the handguard. Not only does it help protect your hands, but some of you with larger hands may like the extra girth for holding on to. You can also attach a foregrip if you'd like, but in this case I'm not going to because this is a pistol build. And there you have it. For more videos, check out my channel, and thanks for stopping by.